retard.
Hello, hello, welcome back, as promised, in the FSLabs, and our favorite position here in Frankfurt, of course, Alpha 1. I actually managed to get a position there where, yeah, there's no one else. Because I did think we would not be alone here, but there we go. Right, so let's have a look. So, as you can see, oh, A340-600. Nice. So, Mark, what on earth? I was just about to say, we have control here. We got tower. Now, I wonder, is that GSX messing up? Or what on earth is going on? Whee! Right. And the best thing is actually facing the wrong way. Oh yeah, Sim Caesar would be good at doing that. Exactly, Mark. Exactly my thought. And he's facing the wrong way. Adamiko, are you sure? Alrighty. So, look at this beauty here. Let's do the following. Sorry for the coughing. Right, so let's go ahead and checking all the switches are in the right position there. I think we've got chocks set. Yeah, chocks are set. So that's all fine. Gear levers down. Wipers are off. Alrighty. So, just gonna get the hang on, is that hold on. Oh, is that one of those bugs? Oh no, it's not. I was just saying that you can't start the EFB, but it was right click. Right. So man, I have not been here for ages. Not been in this aircraft for ages. I know, Mark, right? Back to the Future stream. I know. Gotta get used to it again. So let's go. Atsu. AOC menu. No. Let's go again. Atsu. AOC menu. In it. There we go, 1416, that's the right flight number. Let's do the request, that's good. So it's loading that in as well, cool. So that's nice. And wind, let's do, hang on. 350. Right, let's do, hold on. Previous, it's done that again. So first initial climb 230, but we did file 350, so that's all fine. Okay, so let's do wind request. What do we want to do now? Yeah, we need to actually. I remember now. We have to set a time for boarding, etc. So we'll go request. Oh, hold on. OFP data. There we go. We want fuel. Yeah, it's slowly coming back to me now. Slowly. Very slowly. But it is coming back. Load. Long VATSIM. At least I filed my flight plan, guys. At least I did that. So there's the overlay, which is correct. Love it. I did want to have a go and look at the weather with you guys. So right now...
Now that's how pros do it.
Yeah. Hey, Aeroflyer, how you doing? Right, so Frankfurt, we do have ATIS, so may actually get pre-departure clearance. Right now, 180 degrees, 17 knots, get at 3,000. However, the forecast, that's the forecast I'm worried about. So the gust 30 with thunderstorm rain. Live map. Let me just have a look at the weather there. So let's have a look. Okay, so it seems like the weather has already passed. Well, there may be, it's probably circling this way. It's a low pressure area, so it's probably circling that way. So they may be pushing in later. But looking at the weather, I would rather go towards Tirana, or well, TVAT is probably not the best of alternates, but hey. So definitely somewhere in that region, and not so much towards the other. I don't know if you have the scenery installed for that. Have I? Oh, Megas, yeah, I know. Don't remind me. I know. So let's go. An hour 30 minutes roundabout. We need 8.1 of block fuel, so that's correct. And the alternate here is split. Yeah. Now I tell you what though. The thing is, we've got extra fuel of half an hour, so that's already plenty of extra fuel. So we don't want to overcook things. Now we're simulating a afternoon flight, and we're doing that. Yeah, why not? I feel lucky.
Refueling truck is on its way.
Right. Good God.
Please don't load aircraft until the fuel truck arrives and ask to do it.
Good luck, thank you. We're all counting on you. I know. Alrighty, so we got the cruise wind inserted as well. How cool is that? Descent wind. Hey Oleg. How's P3D FSLabs compare? Well, I mean, again, the FSLabs is just a more mature add-on. So you're going to run into a little bit less issues. Assuming P3D runs well, but all in all, yeah, you'll just find it's just a kind of a complete round product. So zero fuel weight, 60.3. That's a lot actually. Expected, and we said 8.1 of the fuel, and so the alternate is split with 1.3 tons. Right, preliminary load sheet, 60.3, that's fine. 158 passengers. Cool. Oh, what happened to my... Hang on, 60.3. Something happened there, 60.3. There we go. So, that's that. Right. For the flight planning... Actually, Navigraph is what I wanted. Now, I'll probably have to log in is that not working? Navigraph? Charts. Oh, that's interesting. Have they not fixed that? I mean, fixed in the sense of, I know that Navigraph has changed their layout, so that's not working then. Oh, that's interesting. All right. Then we shall use some toolkit code. Has that just gone quiet now? Let's have a look. So I'm using the Bravo throttle quadrant. So just change that a little bit here. Hold on. Yeah. So here's the Bravo throttle quadrant, and I'm using a hardware add-on. For the A320, and it's this one there. It's from FlightSim Factory. Right, so for our departure, we need... Actually, hang on. That we can use, right? OFP, there we go. So, we're expecting a departure with Cindy, but it should be a bit different. Cindy for Sierra. Yeah, that should be the one. So we go to Cindy, then we got the airways routing all the way down to Nera, and then the approach. Yeah, exactly, Ralph. So we have a look for that.
Fuel truck is in position.
Thank you. So we go with the ILS 11 Zulu.
Please don't load aircraft until the fuel truck arrives and ask to do it.
Yeah, I have understood that. And approach via Pila. Insert. Let's have a look. I just want to adjust the outside brightness a bit. I just feel it's a bit too bright outside, isn't it? Clouds look alright. Do that. Cool. That's the routing. Now, for the arrival charts. Then we go Navigraph. Unload. Import Sindri. Frankfurt to Dubrovnik. Import open. So there we go. And we are going to change that to Cindy for Sierra. That's the one. So Cindy for Sierra departure. Yeah, excellent. Cindy, and so
on. Please use your airplane fuel system to set the desired fuel quantity.
So we use that one of the waypoints. So it's 158, 159, and ticks and so on. Right, so what am I supposed to do now? Oh, it's fueling, that's fine. That's cool. So init A page is filled out, init E page filled out, the flight plan page is filled out. So the Nera arrival, then via Pila, and then we go ILS, approach available, select, Zulu, so that's going to be more the that one's straight in then. going to check the routing here. So we've got Nera, so Tixa, Nera, and then we go 601, and then on to the final. Cool. That's all I need to know. That should be 4,000. Cool. That looks alright to me. Perfect. Have you flown to Russia? I mean, in real life? Yes, I have. Many, many times. Of course, before the war, I have been to Russia many times. I've been not only to Moscow, I've been to St. Petersburg, I've been to Kazan as well. Had a great time. So let's do... Why is do you hear that, those noises? Kind of quieten down and then just come up again. That's weird. Alrighty, so we've got that, diff rips, so RATNAV for departure, just put read in there. And then we go performance. Right, this is one of the good performance calculators, obviously. Do like that. So go Frankfurt. Hey MCK and Abend, how are you doing? Hope all is good with you. So we're gonna go Lima Whiskey 3, condition dry. Now it is actually 1,000, so we take it 999 and 8 degrees dry. Anti-ice off. Air conditioning. Right, it's one of those things we have to do together. Well, I've got a cold, yeah. So it's always the issue when I have a cold and a sore throat. Right, I think we're good. Calculate. Oh, config? No. Come on. Config 1. There we go. Flex 64, 700 meter stop margin. All good on the performance climb outs, all fine. That's what we'll take. So it's NADP 2 for sure, and we'll take 2,000. We'll take 2,700 for the engine acceleration. 64. We've got 153, 153, and 154. And the shift is 200 meters, it says. And the flaps 1. Diff rips, secondary, copy active, return plan to Frankfurt. And the winds here, actually we've got ATIS, don't we? The ATIS says, Lima information, wind 170 at 9, so headwind 118, and 25 left, Yankee 25 right, so we're going to go with 25 left in this case. Well, there are some new obstacles, yeah, to the south, so that's why. Can't show the chart here for some reason. I'm not getting Navigraph charts in here now. Unless, oh, hang on, has the link changed? Maybe that's the reason. No, it's the same. Charts.navigraph.com. Hey, Michael. Yeah, so I guess the new interface has killed something here in the EFB, so we can't use that. All right. No start, and I have a feeling the sounds are bugged as well. That's a new one. Maybe it has to do with GSX, I don't know. Oh, you still hear the sounds? Is it my headset then? Oh yeah, it is. It's my headset is bugged, that's why. It's a front panel. Alright, sorry, I've got to change that real quickly. Give me a second. Right, that's better. Yeah, I think it's the front connection on my PC is broken or something. Yeah, so now I have good sounds. There we have it. Oh, Stoll, that's a really good idea. Yeah, you're right. That's an excellent idea, actually. Let's try that. Cache. Oh, hang on. Okay, it requires a... But maybe for the next time. Thank you. Right, next time I'll try that. Cool. That's a good tip, though. Like that. So, approach Novaya. That's a secondary flight plan done as well. And then we do a fixed info. Frankfurt 18178 outbound. 25 miles. And that's our preparations done. Let's get the clearance, shall we? Fueling is still not finished. Blimey. What's taking him so long? Guys, it's so weird. In Frankfurt now, 60 FPS. It is strange. Now, to be fair, P3D does have its nice moments. I mean, look at the clouds there. It looks all right, doesn't it? Oleg, in your agency center, you have Chief Mentor, Sergey, his simmer, and in 2008 showed me your channel. From this time, he became in love with the A320 up to this present time. Thank you. Well, thank you so much, Oleg. Thanks for the feedback. Yeah, the A320 is a nice aircraft. It really is. A lot of fun. Right, 8.1. Come on. Oh, he's finished. So here comes the big thing now. Is he going to actually detach and then go and stay away? Because we've been here before. He goes away and then suddenly comes back for whatever reason, and nobody knows why. Anyways, let's do the following. Let's do instant loading, instant boarding. Oh, sorry. I was trying to switch off the microphone, but I didn't have the time. My bad. Right, so let's do request, and let's do instant. So we're going to get the final load sheet now, and then I want to do the following. We've got tower. PDC is available apparently, so let's do that. Pre-departure clearance. Lufty 1416. Info was Lima. Gate number. Pole position. And I wish they could read that, but I know they can't. But that's right. I just do it anyways. Aye goody. Aye goody good. There you go. Yeah, I just heard. I read about the part of the hobby network being disconnected or something because of the trolls. Right, that's a good fuel check. Send that off. Right, let's get that on for a flight as well. Now here the clearance comes through the MCDU. So we've got load sheet final. So we've got 60.3. Okay, so received and hey. Oh, hang on. Where's my sounds for crying out? That is worth a round of applause, I would say. So, cleared via the Cindy 4 Sierra out of 1-8, climb 4,000, squat 1,000. So we guessed everything correctly. Just seems like I've been here before, I don't know why, but I have kind of a weird deja vu. So, there we go. Now here goes some cool. Alrighty, so let's put that on. What else did it say? So it said request startup on 19.9. So we can't start the engines just yet. Let's accept that. So we've got to contact 190.9 before we do the startup. Done. Received and confirmed. We are all good to go. Quick briefing, guys. So, we are departing 1-8 on the Sydney 4 Sierra. That's confirmed now at 4,000 feet. Sector is 3,700 feet to the south. And we got extra fuel of about half an hour. Well, it says 1.4 tons, 40 minutes in the MCDU. Taxi out hotspots. Let's have a look here. So, taxi out hotspots. So, we're coming by November 5. November 5, November, very likely. Hold short November 10. Just stay clear for November 11 there. So, that's November 10, hold short. And then full length, or Lima. Runway 18. In case of engine failure, straight out acceleration is in 2,700 feet. Once the engine is secured, we can turn left on a downwind for runway 25. If we're on fire, we need to land quickly. We can stay in 2,700, do a short pattern, land 25 left. If it's just an engine failure, not time critical, then we'll climb 4,000 radar vectors. Yeah, you're correct. I'll check that in a second. Hang on. Yeah, there we go. Thank you. And then we'll return on normal IS 4,000 feet, 25 left as well. We will be above max landing weight for landing in case of quick return. So we've got to look into the overweight landing list. Right now, MCK, we're starting to do it more and more from memory. So I don't normally use any clips anymore. Right, stop margin for me was 700 meters. Yeah, 700 meters stop margin. Specials, we'll try to remember that we're doing a packless takeoff. So lineup means we'll switch the packs off. At least we'll try to remember, guys. If not, I'll blame you. All of you. That's just the way it is. So, yeah, abnormal-wise, nothing abnormal. So I don't see anything else to consider. This is the FSLabs, so we're in P3D, and that's the FSLabs. Right, there you go. Right. Blame a passenger? No, you're not passengers, you're my first officers. Hey, Augenbeier, wie geht's? Oh. Oh, what happened? Lol. What's this? APU auto shutdown. Right. Let's check. There should be a fault light up here as well. There is. So, beacon actions. APU auto start shutdown or auto shutdown. Master switch off. Off. Clear APU. Clear APU. Status. Inop systems. APU. Guys, what do we do now? What do we do? Back to the tel. All right, guys. It was lovely seeing you guys again. See you next stream, which will be Thursday most likely. Have a great, great evening. Goodbye. Right, no. Right. Yeah. So MCK, in theory, there's 3. Now 2 of them are mostly broken, so you have 1. So definitely. So call for a ground air start unit. That's a good idea. We would confirm with maintenance, see if they can do anything. But they say, you know what, we are very busy right now. Can you write it up according MEL, and then we'll give you a dispatch via MEL. That would really help us out. So guys, shall we? Shall we not? Right. Dubrovnik.
Welcome aboard the Captain Black Box Duo Channel experience. Could new subscribers please make their way to the first class cabin, where complimentary drinks, snacks and premium flight infotainment will be served. Thank you.
Good to be back and nice to see P3D.
Yeah, thanks so much, Angreif. That's really kind of you. Thanks for the 4 months. Really kind, thank you. Shall we will? Well, we should. Well, yeah, okay, so we've got a full house, 158 passengers, I think. They want to get to Dubrovnik. So I'm just reading through the mail. So roof status, no reset. Econ actions completed. It says power plant APU may be inoperative if as long as no ATOPs are conducted, which we don't. So operations procedure. During cockpit preparation, do not use the APU. APU master switch off. That is off. No APU bleed air will be available for main engine start or air conditioning. No electrical power will be available from the APU generator. Before pushback or engine start, for engine start without APU, refer to the engine start with an air starter unit. And then after landing at the gate, make sure that you have ground power available. Alright, so there is 2 options. Now, let's see. Is Senshai here by any chance? See if I can call up my checklist through the website. I need to find the right web page for that. Because that would be quite cool if you could do the checklist here. There we go. A320 procedure checklist. Right, I think that's the one. Hold on. Ah, there we go. So, procedures, checklist. We'll go through checklist, and then we've got ground de-icing or engine start external air. Well, there we go. So here we've got the checklist ready. I love that. Very cool indeed. Right, so we're lucky we got the last ground air unit, ground air starter. So remember, guys, where it's connected, right? You can see that here is different to the ground air conditioning unit, right? The ground air conditioning unit is actually connected now I don't know why that. Okay, that's that. Right, let me go and find that key. So, camera down a bit. Alright, there we go. So, there's two connections. Books do, yeah. So here's air conditioning. That's where the preconditioned air goes in. Right, so it's already cleaned and cooled and everything, right, or heated, and it goes straight in there. For our engine start, we need high pressure air, and that goes into that system there, and that goes then straight into the bleed system. Now, one of the very important things is, if you do that, you make sure that the packs are off. And the bleeds are off, so that we don't get any contaminated air into the pack system. Because normally that air from the outside air pressure unit is often contaminated, so we don't want that. At least not in the air conditioning. Good, but we'll do that according to the procedure. Now let me call up 19.9 and see if they're still online first of all. That's Tower. Frankfurt Tower, gute wie, die Lufthansa 1416, stand Alpha 1, requesting engine start. Oh, where's my button? Hold on. Push to talk. Frankfurt Tower, gute wie, die Lufthansa 1416, stand Alpha 1, requesting engine start. Request denied. Test, test, 1, 2, 3. Right, it should be alright. Let me do the following. Push to talk. Let me go ahead. Audio. Test that where... No, loudness settings are fine. Let's go sound. Apps. Ah, okay, hang on. Why is vPilot not... online? I mean, not giving me any options here. Right. Let me just restart vPilot here real quickly. Yeah, but normally I can select.
Nordic 55 Yankee, confirm your raised taxi.
Already taxi, perfect.
Nordic 55 Yankee,
just testing the
opposite KLM 737.
Test, alright.
Thereafter, taxi to stand, correction, taxi to holding point, runway 25 center via Lima, Lima 1.
After the KLM taxi Lima, Lima 1.
ATC didn't know.
Nordic 55.
Frankfurt Tower, gute wie, Lufthansa 1416, stand Alpha 1, requesting startup.
Lufthansa 1416, info Lima Karam, startup approved. Clear to Dubrovnik, Indy 4 Sierra, flight plan route. Climb by at 4,000 feet, go consult.
Okay, well, we already received the IPDC, but Cindy 4 Sierra, runway 18, climbing 4000, squawk 1000, D Lufthansa 1416.
This is 1416, perfect. Got that. So, start approved.
Start approved. Start approved, Lufthansa 1416. So, okay, let me just try dial that down.
5 Yankee, line up, runway 25.
If you think that the audio is too loud.
485-185, contact Langenrede on
Is that better?
Decimal 15.
108, correction. What's that?
120, decimal 157.
12015, quality 589. Thank you, John.
Okay, that's better. Alrighty, cool.
Nordic 55 Yankee, wind 170 degrees.
So we are cleared for engine start. So let's do the following then. Let's put that on. That's all on, that's on, that's all on. Fuel pumps on. And then we shall go through the checklist. Where's my normal checklist? Hold on. So, B4 start checklist. Parking brake is set. We have the... Actually, did we read the cockpit preparation checklist? No, we didn't. Cockpit preparation checklist, first of all. Gear pins covers removed. Fuel quantity is 8,100 kilograms. Balanced. Seatbelts on. ADIRS. Nav. Barbara Ref. QNH 1000 set. That's the cockpit preparation checklist completed.
Nordic 55 Yankee, identified, contact Langenrede on 120 decimal 157. Bye-bye.
Yeah, normally MCK in real life, they know that you've requested the clearance already via PDC, so they have that on their strip or whatever, their electronic strip, I think they see that. Right, before start, park brake is set. Very important now. Takeoff speed thrust. V1 153, VR 153, V2 154, Flex 64. Then we've got the windows closed. Closed. Beacon is on. And that's the before start check is completed. Now, normally, here in Frankfurt, you have the ground power. In the ground, so you can actually get rid of the jetway. Now I'm not sure what happens if I get rid of the jetway. I fear that we're going to lose the ground power. Yeah, that's what I thought. All right, so non-standard. Let's keep the jetway connected then. Right, so let's go through before connecting. External pneumatic air, pack 1 and 2 off. Off. Before start, APU off. Engine bleeds 1 and 2 off. Cross bleed open. Right, so that means that we can then get pressured air into the right engine as well. Very important. Right, so when clear to start, engine 2 start. The minimum recommended starter air supply pressure is 30 psi with starter valve open. Roger, so I would call now the ground. And I would say, ready for ground high pressure air, and then that's not in here, is it? That's, oh hang on, air starter, there we go. So let's have a look. Yeah, we've got good engine, or good pressure there, so engine start. Good pressure.
Finishing 330.
Engine 2 start.
Cafe 19 descent, 5 and 15 inch 1 half.
Oh, Oleg, really? Okay, that's interesting. Oh. I knew it.
So straight, speed 17 knots until 5 miles final.
70 knots until 5 miles. 5, correction, 170 knots until 5 miles final. Number 28.
Start the FP. Yeah, we don't have APU. I bet you know that.
Now that's how pros do it.
Normally, we'd have to stop the engine start because we don't have any indications regarding engine values, and we don't know if we have a fire that we could actually extinguish it. So that would have been a immediate engine 2 master shut off. It probably broke the plane now. You want to bet? Oh no. Alright. Well, I guess we're lucky. So we pretend nothing happened, alright? It's alive. Right, so we'll go with after engine 2 started, if external pneumatic air is used to start engine 1, yeah, we can do. We're at the gate here, so let's do that. Engine 1 start. So good pressure. Engine 1 start. Yeah, 3 minutes you get the problem with the buffer battery getting drained, and then you lose all the data if you're unlucky with the MCU. Let's see if we can get that alive again. Okay, so good engine start. 1 and 2. Right, when engine started, external pneumatic air removed. That's very important. First of all, remove the external air. Clear disconnect external air. We check that here in the bleed page.
Welcome aboard the Captain
that's
Black
all
Box
good.
Twitch channel subscriber experience.
And then we've got
Could new subscribers please
cross
make your
bleed
way
auto.
to the first class cabin, where complimentary drinks, snacks and premium flight entertainment
So that means we are closing
Thank you.
that cross bleed valve. That's
So
important as well.
P3D is not dead lol. Hello Captain and crew, how are you?
Air Force
Congrats
5.
on new PC build, very impressive.
Air Force 5, thank you so much. And thanks for the support. Yeah, indeed. But it's all in a longer term plan. So my hardware setup will continue to change over the next 2 or 3 months, so stay tuned. Right, packs 1 and 2 on. And engine 2 bleed on. Oh no, sorry, hang on, this one. Yeah. There we go. Packs 1 and 2 on, and engine bleed should be on first of all. But there we go. So let's do it the other way around. So engine 1 bleed, engine 2 bleed. Let's make sure everything is opening, looking good, and then pack 1 and 2 on as well. And that's the checklist completed. And so now we do the normal after start flows by doing that. Right, APU is off anyways. So we'll do the flight control check. Hold up. Fill down. Neutral. neutral. Right, left, full right, neutral, and that was full left, full right, and neutral as well. After start checklist, anti-ice off. Income status, let's check status. Income systems, ADU, checked. Pitch trim. So we have to set 30.8%. And that should correspond to down 0.6. So 30.8. Pretty sure I saw that on the load sheet, correct? Load sheet, there it is.
Runway 25 left,
So I saw that here, down 0.5. Well, there we go. So good guess. Down 0.5, put that in there. So 30.8% set, and the rudder trim is neutral, and that's the after start checklist completed. Let's taxi out. Looking forward to that taxi. Clearance.
Mike Aiden, short of 500 for Aberdeen.
Hey Diego, how you doing? Yeah, George, how you doing? Lufthansa 1416, stand Alpha 1, request taxi. November 5, November, boarding point wait, Lufthansa 1416. Now it's really quiet again. Right, so clear left side, clear right side.
Left heading 330.
Left heading 320, 65
American 232, speed 2
Controller change. Yeah. So we're going to be really careful here.
Speed 170,
Oh, hang on, don't tell me they didn't remove the chocks.
EJ101, speed 170 until 5 miles.
Why should they? They've messed up everything else today, so... And immediate turn here. Come on.
left heading 28, cleared ILS 25 left.
Left heading 28 and
Has
cleared
everything
at
messed up?
25 left. First of all,
Come on. Yeah, there we go, that's working. Class, hey, how you doing? There we go.
EJ101, cleared to land 25 left. Vacated runway, Lufthansa 28.
That is a tight spot, I tell you. A321 even more so.
Sorry, was that for Lufthansa 28?
Left Mike 28, short of 25 left,
Why is still P3D? Well, Diego, yeah.
Taxiing right via Mike, and then Mike 28, holding short of runway 25 center, Lufthansa 28.
Left and after Mike.
Yeah, definitely. So P3D
Okay,
offers
let's start the mic and then-
still some good stuff that you don't have on Microsoft Flight Sim. Right, brake check. Brakes are working.
American 232, left heading 28, cleared ILS 25 left.
And we did a flight with the PMDG 747 on the first stream today, and that was also very enjoyable. Really liked it. Air Berlin, are you kidding me? Seriously. Lol. Right, no one coming there, no one there. Perfect. Rolling back the years. Cabin is ready. Lovely.
Sorry, can you say, also, can you say again, please? What to say?
Stand Alpha 38, by
Oh, 35 knots. Crikey, that's a bit fast. Right, 30 knots.
Cross runway 25 center, taxi to gate Alpha 38 via Lima and November 7. Lufthansa 8.
I wonder. The sceneries for Frankfurt Airport, in Mark's flight sim is still really, really bad. MCK, I would not disagree with that, but I try not to do it in real life. Yeah, online simulations.
Good evening, number 2882 with you, flight 7110.
I think so too, yeah.
Information, Mike, expect ILS 5 left.
Expect ILS 5 left, Lufthansa 2882, thank you.
82 men. How are you doing? Oh, Captain Mad Max. We talked about that today, but I have no idea. Honestly, I'm not in that group, so I have no idea. I actually thought it was more like a meme or
Can you repeat that, please?
Left now to Romeo.
just some rumors.
Sierra 2-1, then 505.
That's really Diego. Okay.
Left to Romeo.
No, sir. I talked about it. At the moment, I don't really follow the World Cup. So maybe once Germany comes, should they reach the quarterfinals or something, maybe then. But at the moment, okay. So recap: Sydney 4 Sierra up 4,000 feet, engine out, straight out, 2,700 engine acceleration. And RTO until V1 of 153. And packs off. Thank you so much, Mike.
Left heading 30, descent flight level 7 knot. That's where you take to. Delta Golf overhead, Lima at 1,400 feet. Delta Golf orbit right.
So I wondered, what's 0.8?
American,
sorry, I don't know what's happening. Thanks.
American 222 advance elevation approach, 5 center. American 222, clear middle approach, 25 center, can not miss approach, then at 5 downfield. From 22, descent 4,000 feet, QNH 1,000.
Descent 4,000 feet from QNH 1,000. That's where you take to.
No, I've not had anything. Look, I'm not with the FSLabs anymore, so I have no idea.
Information, Mike, set up a course yesterday, landing 1,
So let's see. Wow, it's also quiet now.
Correct. American 222 and 1 8 degrees 8 knots, 25, request to 5%, clear to land. Turkish 5 for Gulf at 1 8 degrees 8 knots, 25 left, clear to land.
25 left, good loop and 25 for the mistake.
Lufthansa 1416, ready for departure.
78, clear for takeoff.
Sorry, blocked.
The 146 and 1 8 degrees 8 knots, 25, request number 18, clear for takeoff.
Clear takeoff 18, Lufthansa 1416, thank you. Right.
Gulf traffic information,
Takes off.
Turkish A320, final 25 left, 2 miles reported time.
Line up, checklist, escape crew, prepare for departure. Takeoff runway is 18, full length.
Delta Oscar Golf, joining
TCAS,
final 25 left behind mentioned traffic and full
and
stop
the
landing.
packs are off. Line up,
Sorry, I
checklist,
missed the gate. Lufthansa 28.
Alpha 38.
On.
No, I mean I drove the wrong way. I taxied the wrong way. Lufthansa 28.
Just consider next left gate of choice.
There we go. Oh, that's a bit interesting.
Thank you, gate of first. Gate of choice. Lufthansa 28.
Take off. Manflex 64 SAS auto thrust. Thrust set. Rotate.
Again, Lufthansa 28.
The left heading 280, clear to ILS.
All right.
280 and clear to ILS.
It's so
Close to
loud.
one final runway 25
It's so loud. Hang on. Just need to turn down the sound. I didn't hear anything. Right, thrust line climb. Out blue, auto thrust. Yeah, that should not be coming on. Right, we set climb power. Packs on.
Delta Oscar Golf, second left, with 1 degrees 8 knots, 25 left, clear to land.
Delta Oscar Golf, vacating left, 25 left, clear to land.
Whenever you are seated. This also applies if the seatbelt signs are switched off.
Lufthansa 28 arrived at the gate. Thank you for your service and bye-bye.
So, with 146 identified, climb flight level 110.
Climb level 110, Lufthansa 1416. Right, so 2,500 we do have. Clear that away. Now, hand flying wise, it feels better than Phoenix at the moment. Flap 0, speed is checked. Flaps 0. Right, autopilot 1.
Lufthansa 8 Whiskey Echo, request push start Alpha 34.
Late for the Echo, push approved, face left.
Push us approved base up down. Lufthansa 8 Whiskey Echo.
Lima November 1, November 2, James Echo 2, American 2.
Actually, Lufthansa 8 Whiskey Echo, so you wanted this to face left or to the west?
So, standard, or set standard.
West, Roger, Lufthansa 8 Whiskey.
Standard cross-checked, passing 6-2.
Delta Oscar Golf, vacated runway
Wow,
25
checked.
left via Romeo 5, request taxiing to GRT.
Delta Oscar 6, GRT, via Romeo.
Yeah, we had APU failure.
Delta Oscar Golf, 2 GRT
so
via
I
Romeo and
programmed-
entry is Sierra 23.
Lufthansa 146 for Langen, 123, 275.
23275, just Lufthansa 1416. Yeah, I programmed a failure, and it left the flap open, and normally that would need to be closed.
133, that's 75 going.
Ryan on 133.75, zero. Have a great night, Swiss 917.
Lang Radar, Naben, Lufthansa 5 Mike Alpha, flight level 240, direct Kirax.
5 Mike Alpha, Lang, identified, cleared Kirax, 3 Alpha arrival, descent level 110 to reach at Kirax.
Descent 110, Lufthansa 5 Mike Alpha.
Yeah, Lufthansa 5 Mike Alpha, cleared Kirax, 3 Alpha arrival, and descent level 110 to reach at Kirax.
Clear to Kirax, 3 Alpha departure, arrive at 110.
Langenradar, good afternoon. Lufthansa 1416, reaching level 110.
Lufthansa 1416, Lang, identified, climb flight level 230.
Climb level 230, Lufthansa 1416. So we have thrust.
Lang Radar, good evening, Delta Charlie Sierra, Alpha Golf, flight level 240, direct Kirax.
Delta Charlie Sierra, Alpha Golf, Lang, identified, cleared Kirax, 3 Alpha arrival.
Cleared Kirax, 3 Alpha arrival, Delta Charlie Sierra, Alpha Golf.
So seatbelts, yeah, we'll have seatbelts on.
75 going.
Contact right radar 133.75, 89 Papa Mike, good night.
That's 221, descent flight level 2.
MCK, yes, normally you would. I was just busy looking outside, so that's why I didn't do it. But yeah, normally I do that in real life. 2,000 feet prior level of, we used the rate to about 1,500 feet per minute, and then 1,000 feet prior level of 1,000 feet per minute. So, so flight plan, copy active, RATNAV, that's all clear, and fix info.
Tango, read the correct text for departure and own discretion, report airborne.
Länger radar in as 17 Quebec Charlie.
That is still bugged. Lol. That is still bugged.
240 and direct Napor, Ryanair 17 Quebec Charlie.
ED766, climb flight level 350.
Up to 350, you said.
So in Russia you get what, direct after takeoff immediately to save fuel? Okay, interesting. Yeah, why not?
Charlie Sierra Alpha Golf, when ready, descent
Why
flight
not?
level 110 to reach at Kirax.
When ready, descent flight level 110 to reach at Kirax, Delta Alpha Golf.
Air France 22 Romeo Juliet, monitor Unicom dabei.
Unicom, thank you, sir. Good night, Air France 22 Romeo Juliet.
Swiss 221, contact Swiss radar und 133.9 dabei.
133.9, Dank, tschüss.
Oh yeah, MCK probably could, yeah. Right, wind clouds, -3 degrees, might as well just put on the engine anti-ice.
Lufthansa 1416, climb flight level 310.
Lufthansa 1416, climb level 310. Alright, 310.
Lufthansa 5 Mike Alpha, contact Frankfurt arrival on 120 decimal 8 away.
Frankfurt arrival at 120.8, 5 Mike Alpha, schön, tschüss.
Okay, there we go. So, terrain on there. Well, still clouds, so let's leave engine anti-ice running. Yeah, we can do that. That is fine.
Lang, hello identified, direct Delta, Kilo Bravo. Two Jet 4 Kilo Bravo, descent flight level 240. Descent flight level 240, Jet comfortable. The 6 Mike Zulu, descent flight level 250.
Hey, look, here the weather radar's actually working. We actually get some echoes there.
CD 766, direct Gabler.
It's just south of Stuttgart.
Again for East 766.
Direct Gabler.
Direct Gabler.
Captain Madmax, no, I'm currently waiting for a change to the 747. So they're not really training many people right now. On the 787 because it's not, they're not being delivered as quickly as they'd hoped. Unfortunately.
Delta Charlie Sierra Alpha Golf, contact Frankfurt arrival and 120.8.
120.8, bye bye, Delta Alpha Golf.
This 976, direct Railco.
Why not the A380? No. No, please no. Nah.
2 Jet 4 Kilo Bravo, descent flight level 190.
Yeah, I do know. I'm on number 3 out of 20, so...
The 6 Mike Zulu, descent flight level 200.
And that's for the December course and the January... There's 2 courses in January. There I'm also on number 3 from 20, so... If the moment that they open up and just increase the amount of required captains, that's it.
Like a radar, good evening, Alpine 63 Mike Foxtrot, climbing flight level 240 inbound Inga.
160 Mike Foxtrot, Lang, hello identified, climb flight level 340.
Yeah, normally they do MCK, yeah.
Alpine 63 Mike Foxtrot.
And it can be either 2 captains together or it can be Captain FO.
Contact 133.9, danke, bye bye.
This 976, contact Rhein Radar on 133.75, bye bye.
133.75, yep.
Early tonight, when would you be your last A320 flight? Well, Advico, if I start in December or 7th of January, I could have already had my last A320 flight. So that is already a possibility, we'll see. But yeah, we'll see what happens. As long as I don't get a confirmation, then I'm not in a transfer. So we'll see. How long does the 747 type rating take? Well, it depends on the amount of trainers they have. So if it's, I would say the fastest transition would be about 4 months. On average, at the moment, because they're missing trainers, it's about half a year. Yeah, I'm aware of the engine anti-ice, thank you. Just looking at the tops there. Just wondering if you're going to hop into that.
Climb 185, climb flight level 370.
Flight level 370, Bilan 185.
Probably not. Alright, we'll switch it off.
416, monitor Unicom, bye-bye.
Monitor Unicom, thank you, Lufthansa 1416. Thank you much, MCK. You have a great week. Take care. Blacksund. There you go. I'm looking at the live map again here. So we are going to get some weather around Farwar. Right now we're here, and then there's going to be some weather. Oh, we're going to get some turbulence. You see what I mean? Just getting into the range there of these clouds, but we're not quite in it yet. Okay, so yeah, and then descent. I guess later on in the descent we're going to have to look out. But Dubrovnik at the moment at least seems to be lucky. Right, it seems to be clear. Live map for the win, yeah. Well, we have that actually in the real aircraft as well. If we have internet connection, we get not exactly that kind of map, but we get a overlay map. So, for example, we would have this kind of map, and if there's any thunderstorms, it would get like draw in some areas on the nav chart there with these areas of thunderstorms and so on, or turbulence. So that's pretty neat actually these days. There's a Sim Toolkit Pro, so if you go to simtoolkitpro.com, and there is a live map function, so you can see other traffic from VATSIM, Iveo, whatever, POSCON, and yeah, and they can do that as well. Oh, we got a signal. Hang on. Current flight. Let's go. So we got some signets. Look at that. So, Ljubljana, severe turbulence, but that's low level. Zagreb, what's that? No, that's Vienna. Severe ice. Interesting. So ice, severe turbulence. Again, that's low level though, so that really doesn't concern us. And then we got Zagreb, embedded thunderstorms as well. Tops level 350. So that's the area we've just been talking about. Actually, here, hang on, we got a map here as well, don't we? Yeah, there we go. Yeah. So that's cool as well. Yeah, I'm not really concerned about these, but here, that's going to be an area where we could run into. Does Rex Global Airport Textures rob your frame rates? Possibly. I don't use it at the moment, so I could imagine P3D is quite sensitive to these kind of add-ons. Yeah. Do you have Apple iPads for EFBs? No, not at the moment at least, but we may get them at some point. Okay, so with 310, we did file 350 though, so let's go and continue climb. 350, thrust climb, up booth, 350. Yeah, I've got some echoes there, look at that. Towards Munich. Oh really? You live here? Echo Delta Mike Oscar. Nice. Is it raining at the moment? It's still quite convective up here. Quite interesting. Oh, he's sitting in the basement. Okay, so he wouldn't hear that. Do not ask me. All right. Right, I'm just finishing my last meal. Possibly for the next week, because I'm going to be on fast tomorrow. So I just had last salad with some vegetables. See how that goes. So in case you are wondering, I am using the enhanced atmospherics, but with Rex clouds. Exactly, no food talks on the next streams. That looks quite nice as well, doesn't it? Top layer there. Cool. 2,000 feet to go. Yeah, there we go. And not gonna happen. Yeah, there we go. Mark, I hope so. So, this is something I am seriously missing in Microsoft at the moment. I mean, I don't expect a perfect simulation of the thunderstorms, but so from the real world depiction, right? So from Favor, right? That's where we said we're gonna expect some thunderstorms. So going back to the live map here. You see, that's just the thing, right? So that's all I really want to see in a flight sim. Hey, Flying Gas Mask. Well, I have been using... Well, I started with FSX, and then that was 6 years ago. And then I started on P3D at some point. And, yeah, and of course, I guess to stay a little bit with the hype and, you know, and the exciting kind of changes in Microsoft Flight Sim, developments, new aircraft add-ons, of course, you've got enough stuff to do. And there's enough, you know, content to create that way. But I have to admit, there are certain aircraft types that I'm still missing in Microsoft Flight Sim. So on the first stream today, we flew the PNG 747 in P3D and loved it. We did hydraulic failure, and I just love the detail you get there. And I know the visuals aren't, you know, aren't as good here in P3D, but I mean, you can see the Alps in the background there. The clouds aren't too bad, are they? I mean, you know, it's all right. Yeah, unfortunately, I mean, it is a kind of a thing with, you know, being trendy or not. So as a content creator, yeah, I guess you are always a little bit under pressure trying to, you know, stay mainstream. But hey, why not? Why not from time to time use, you know, different flight sims? How much gigabyte do you need to play P3 version 5? That's a good question. Let me see if I can find a what's it called? Monitor thingy. I don't have that installed here, it seems. What's it called again? HW something monitor? Let me just download that. HW monitor something. HW monitor, right? Yeah, that's the one. Set up English, download now. Just quickly install that. Right, so open that up. Desktop. Where is it? HW monitor. Ah. And there we have it. And I can explain a few things as well with my setup. Okay, so there we go. So what I've done is what's the temperatures? Temperatures. Utilization. Temperature. There we go. So what I've done is I'm undervolting the CPU by 0.1 volts, and I'm doing that via a Intel Extreme Tuning utility. So normally it will clock up to 1.48 or something volts to get, you know, still the 5.5 gigahertz. So I've got full kind of, you know, full clock speed on the P cores, but I am undervolting a bit. So the temperatures are staying much lower compared to not undervolting it a bit. So if I didn't undervolt, I would get up to 100 degrees right now, even though I have a very good cooler in place, water cooler in place. In Microsoft Flight Sim at the moment, I would have an average of about 60 to 65, or maybe sometimes lower. So there, P3D is definitely straining the CPU a bit more. If you look at the GPU, GPU is 32% and 55 degrees roundabout. GPU memory usage is, it says 38%. Alright, and for the RAM, yeah, system memory 51%. No, so at the moment, the power draw, let's have a look. Oh, that would be on GPU thing, wouldn't it? Yeah, here you don't get the watts indication. You get a percentage indication, but not watts. That's for the CPU though. That's not for the GPU, right? CPU is pulling about 110 watts at the moment, and then I would guess the GPU right now. Let me see if I can find GPU Z as well. Because there you get a better indication.
Hello, black box.
Hey, Reynolds, did you already land? Right. Hold on. Just installing GPU set. Right, so. Alright, there we go. So the board power draw would be 150 plus the 100. So you can see the GPU is not pulling that much. And if I look at my socket output for my PC, it's pulling a total of 350 watts. So that's actually in line pretty much what we get here indicated. So yeah, so 350 watts from the socket, and the temperatures, I mean, I have to admit, the prior setup that I had with the 2080 Ti and the 12900K. Yeah, I wish I could show you that. I don't know if you can see that on the monitor there. Hang on, let me just see if I can. Well, now it's pulling 378. So I can see that. Yeah, no, you can see it. 369. That's what it's pulling out of the socket. But I'm pretty sure maybe I have something else in that socket as well. So, but again, I can definitely say that the news that you heard at the beginning, like 500 watts, 600 watts, that's not true. That is just not true. So VRAM, where's my VRAM indication here? So fan speed from the GPU is only 30%. So that's not really doing much on the GPU here in P3D. Where's the memory use? There we go. So from the good night, Lilo. Take care. So from the GPU, I'm using about half. Yeah, half of the memory that's available. So 500-600 watts is when you are mining bitcoins. Yeah, exactly. I'm still trying to find how much RAM I'm using. So normal RAM. Yeah, the weather has improved in Dubrovnik, yeah. And he landed in CJ4. Ah, okay. And it was bumpy. In Windows Task Manager, hang on. Let me find that. Oh, there we go. Yeah, 16 as a half. So I have 32 gigabytes roundabout, and it's using 16 at the moment. So I guess that answers all the questions. Yeah, the FSLabs is definitely a resource-intensive aircraft. However, the FPS, I mean, I've never had such high and stable FPS ever in P3D. So that was 60. It maybe dropped down sometimes to 55-ish, but yeah, even now I have a lot more than 60 FPS. But I'm limiting to 60 because of that desync with my 60 Hertz monitor. 2K monitor. Who did I blackmail to get a 4090? Lol, yeah. Well, well, to be honest, I mean, I did refrain from buying a 3090 or 3080 Ti for a long time. And again, guys, here, right now, if I look at my 2K screen, this looks nice. It really does look nice. And it's really smooth and... So P3D, the only downside is really the environment. Right, so that's something you just have to live with in Prepared. 777 Bob, here in Germany we have we have something, it's a producer or a brand called Fritzbox. So they make a lot of electronic equipment like routers for the internet, and there they also have sockets which are remotely controlled. So through an app on my iPhone, I can actually switch off these sockets, and that's really kind of comfortable, because in the evening when I switch off my PC and I leave the office room, then I simply just have 3 of these remote controlled sockets, and I just close them all, and I know they're all completely shut off, because I get a feedback on the iPhone that it's been shut off. And in those, there's also a temperature sensor and a sensor to measure the power consumption. PC specs. I have an i7 8700K. Okay, what simulator are you running, Moritz? Or what use? I mean, I can tell you with that setup, I think you should be all right regarding 30 FPS, 30 Hertz monitor, or half refresh rate on a 60 Hertz monitor. But I'm telling you that your GPU, so even the 2080 Ti that I had prior to buying the 4090, that was not limiting. So in Microsoft, for example, it was always bottlenecking via the CPU. And I can promise you, in P3D, you will also be just like me right now. I'm still bottlenecked by. Oops. I'm still bottlenecked by the CPU. So instead of really investing in a 3090, I would think about getting a stronger CPU. Yeah, Numark, I was actually, I was trolled by those comments as well. Everybody going, oh my god, the GPU alone will draw 600 watts, and then you've got the 13900K drawing 300 watts and so on. And I'm like, oh god, 1000 watts will not be enough. And in my previous setup, I had 800 watts PSU. And now I find out the 800 watts PSU would have been just fine. There was no need to buy a 1200. Moritz, so in P3D, yeah. So at the moment, like I said, the CPU power, that's what you need. And the more cores you have, the better your performance here in P3D will be. The Corsair sucks. I don't know. It's probably you buy something else and then someone else will say, oh, that sucks or that sucks. I'm quite happy with everything. All fine. $370, Reynolds. Yeah, the thing is that, so here's the key. So what I picked up, so I did actually, watch a lot of YouTube videos, read through some comments, and some people that really do know. Oh god, I accidentally closed. Hold on, there you go. Nope, still good. There's a couple of key factors where people have said and found out that, for example, undervolting the 3900K is fine. It lowers the temperatures, and the clock speed could still maintain like 5.5 gigahertz, right? Regarding the 4090, they also found out. So if you look at Der Bauer, he did a very good comprehensive video on undervolting the 4090, and he said he doesn't understand why they made the specifications of the 4090 as they did. Because clearly you can actually use a lower voltage level and still get a very, very good clock speed and performance. So you lose like, I don't know, what was it, 5% or something performance, but you can get a power down between 70 to 100 watts. All right, so that's a huge difference. So if you talk about, alone for the GPU, between 350 to 400 watts under normal kind of settings, and actually getting that down below 300 by a simple undervolting, then yeah, your power draw will not be more than, let's say a 11900 or 12900K with a 3080 or 3090. Yeah, so Rusty, that's the weird thing is, Rusty, so I'm hearing a lot of these reports. Yeah, so I think they are, I don't know why they kind of overpower these things. I guess to make them as stable as possible, because they think that people will be overclocking the hell out of it. And but yeah. Okay. Yeah, Oleg, we don't want to get political here, but I know that there's a lot of people having a really hard time in Russia as well now. So hopefully everything will get resolved soon, and we'll see. But stay positive. Edgy, hey, how you doing? Overvolting to account for bad silicon. Yeah, it could be. I'm not into that. I'm into that knowledge level to understand fully why they would go that way. But I'm sure they're the experts. They're the professional. Oh, what happened now? Why is what button is that? Oh, hang on. I think I know what it is again. Hold on. Is that the rudder actually going and moving the flaps? Left, right, rudder, right. No, it should be right. No, something on my hardware suddenly moved the flaps. I don't know what it was. Maybe one of the controllers. I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, the bias. The problem is, Yoda, there are so many settings in bias that are so confusing. And the problem is, if you set something in bias and you mess it up, you've got to do so much troubleshooting and restart the PC again. So for me, I've become just have a habit. Whenever I start the PC and I go into flight simming, I just start the extreme tuning utility. I've got my own profile made. I just apply my profile, and that just undervolts everything, and that's fine. So I don't have any issues doing it that way. Right. So we are actually doing quite well. It's about time to get some weather data. So let's get some weather. Actually, not pre-time. And can we get weather here? I thought you could order weather through this app. Well, maybe not. No, that's just to filter out the messages. So I guess we've got to go through here at Zoo. I don't think we get ATAs, but who knows. Alright, there's no ATAs available, but we'll do that. So I want to get weather for the destination, and I want to have a update for my alternate airport. And let's see. Maybe some of the airports as well. So TVAT. TVAT is very close by. Now, in real life, you are not allowed to land there at night time, but we are simming, so that's fine. And there was one more. Was it Lima Yankee Papa Golf or something? Podgorica. Yeah, Lima Yankee Papa Golf. Although I don't know if I have the scenery for that here. Okay, Dubrovnik. Currently 15 degrees. Broken 4,500. The wind 170 at 16. Here is TVAT. Split first. So Split is alright, but you have to do circling there. TVAT. Ooh, spicy. Oh, some tailwind maybe on that approach. And Podgorica. Cumulus, light rain showers. Okay, well, not too bad. So that area seems to be fairly good now. Yeah. I have a little rubber mat below that. There is what's called anti-rutsch, so anti-slippery, anti-slip rubber mat. And it's washable, so if it gets a bit dusty, you can wash it. And yeah, that works wonders. See if I still have a piece somewhere. Traffic climbing. Here's Klagenfurt. Also very nice airport, but very challenging. Hey Jamie. Yeah, so I'm now I've upgraded. Hopefully, it'll last 2 years again, 2 or 3 years before I have to invest more money. But I think we're good with that setup for now. Two weeks, yeah, lol. Until next year. It depends. So, Jamie, I had a couple of pieces already here with my older PC, but I have bought here in Germany. There's one called MIFCOM, so MIFCOM, and the other one is Case King. That's where I got my parts from. Hardcore. Well, today I've got my Be Quiet adapter cable, so it has two 8-pin for the PSU, going then into one connector for the GPU. So you don't need that 4 cable adapter anymore. Oleg, that's exactly my thinking. Yeah. Right. So yeah, we can be peaceful wherever we are, and yeah, stay positive. Yeah. And hope that better times are around the corner. I'm going to put the TCAS to below. And how much time? Actually, we can do a really good fuel check here, can't we? So let's find a nice waypoint. Sabat, there we go. So next waypoint along a route, and we took off at 50, no, at 07 exactly. Well, 06, sorry. So 1406 is when we departed. Actually, we can have a look here as well. So if you go to menu, ATSU, AOC menu, in it, and there you have your time off. So 1407 it says there. Right. So 1407. So we're supposed to be here at Sabat at 1502, and we're supposed to have 3.4 plus the extra 1.2, so we're supposed to have 4.6. So let me put that in brackets. 4.6 is our goal, and let's have a look here now. So 05, so we'll have 3 minutes behind, and then we got 4.8. So we're good on fuel. We just lost 3 minutes on the time. Captain Zasman, you got a quote, AMD Ryzen 9 CPU RTX 3080. I am honest with you, Captain. I have no experience with AMD chips, so I honestly can't say if that's a fair price or not. Maybe someone else can quote that. Yeah, so the thing is with higher temperatures on the CPU, so the downside is obviously that your cooling fans will spin like crazy. And so while, you know, they cope with the spikes, with the temperature spikes, but it means that the cooling fans spin up like crazy. And that's something you hear obviously in your room, so. The active secondary flight plan right now, I copied the flight plan at 10,000 feet. So initially, the second flight plan was the return plan. Now, if you think that, for example, your diversion is very likely, you can actually start programming in. Or let's say you have a different runway, the wind changes, and you're not sure which runway you get. You can already prepare a secondary flight plan with a different runway, or if you wanted to, copy active, and then you could enter a new destination, for example, right? Now, normally, I mean, you would put the alternate already, put any normal flight plan, but there's already the part in there, so Amuba or Raka, you can put the approach in there. But let's say you want to go to TVAT, right? Let's say you make a new alternate plan, and then you can put that in the secondary flight plan. Already programmed the arrival in here. So let's say you're doing localize Zulu 32. You just choose a departure, for an arrival, for example, approach via. So you can program that already into the secondary flight plan. Zlat, hey, how you doing? And then on your secondary plan, you can actually have a look at it already. Right, so if you look at your secondary plan, alright, so you can see where your missed approach ends, or and then you just program, you know, a routing if you want, whatever. So that you can already prepare, and then if you actually do divert, then just activate the secondary flight plan, and then it becomes active. So that's something, you know, we would do. I've heard about people on low-cost carriers actually in flight, if it's a short flight, for example, they're already in the secondary flight plan programmed the return plan. So let's say you're doing, I don't know, Stansted to Bristol or something, you know, and then Bristol back to Stansted. You can program the return flight in the secondary flight plan, and then on the ground, just activate the secondary, and and you're good to go. Strato Cruiser, you do that? Yeah, I've never done that. I don't know why, but well, hang on, don't you get uplinks, Strato? Because we get route uplinks, so for us it's no big deal on the ground to do that. Yeah, sorry for the remaining flight time. Yeah, is about 40 minutes, I would say. Yeah, I'm just reading the discussion there on the Twitch chat. So, bad turbulence. I wonder, you know, I would love to do the following. I would love to have, you know, one PC with the 13900K and the, I don't know, some 4090 GPU, and then, yeah, some motherboard, like from some producer, and then have exactly the same kind of PC apart from a different motherboard, some different RAM, a different GPU, also 4090, but different producer, and then and see, you know, run P3D or run Microsoft Flight Sim and actually see how many FPS difference you get. I would argue probably none. So unless you like doing, you know, FPS, so first-person shooter, and do that on a, you know, competitive level, I don't think it really matters that much to us normal, you know, flight simmers. And why I say that is because I have upgraded from, you know, one CPU to the next generation CPU, and saw literally 1 or 2 or 3 FPS, you know, increase. So well, I tell you what, Brennel, I personally think that at the moment the manufacturer are actually already overclocking things. So, you know, without you doing anything, you get boost frequencies up to 5.5, 5.6. You can, of course, if you wanted to, improve your cooling and then check to see how high you can overclock your CPU. Now, obviously, there's going to be people that have a monster cooling system that may be getting 6,000 megahertz out of their CPU. All right. How many percent is that? 10% from what I have now? So 50 FPS, 10%, 5 FPS more? Is it really worth it? I don't know. You know, it's those kind of things. Same for GPU. The GPU is almost never limiting in flight simming. Right, unless you have probably a very old GPU or something. But normally, the GPU, if you have a good, you know, either 3090 or even a 2080 Ti, rarely actually limited the performance. It's mostly the CPU. Yeah, I have a water cooler, so I'm using a Corsair IQ H150 360 millimeter, 360 millimeter cooling radiator. V-Core in HW monitor. Let me check. V-Core. Is that here? VID? Ah, there we go. V-Core. Yeah, found it. Yeah, so Rusty, here's another observation I made. So I talked about how my GPU, let's say in Microsoft Flight Sim, my GPU draws around about, what, 250 watts or something? 250 watts. In London area or something. If I go, so if that's with 2K. Oh, well, hang on, Rusty. I'm trying to have a stable system, so I don't want to overdo things. But yeah, maybe a little bit more. But give me a couple of weeks. 1.29. Are you kidding me? Right. Okay, I'll try that tomorrow, Rusty. I'll try that. You're on 1.24 with what? 5.5? Blimey. Wow. Okay. You're at 5.7 at 1.25? Wow, okay. But that is quite incredible. Which approach? Well, at the moment, the wind is such that we are likely going to take the localizer 1-1, although let me just check the latest weather again. Yeah, so that's definitely going to be 16 knots of wind, so it's going to be straight in 1-1 today. I know it's a more boring approach, but that's just the way it is today. But we can do, maybe we can do an RMP or something. Let's have a look. Alright, let's do the RMP. Up to, down to -20, no problem. Please not to be used from radar services unavailable. Okay. Well, right, I'll tell you what, let's do the RMP then. RNF 1-1, same approach, and then via PLAP. Insert. Let's just check the routing here. Constraints. So we go down, Nera, and then yeah, straight in. Fantastic. 195 miles to go. Yeah, Brennel, the thing is, that's something the manufacturer have also improved on over time. So they have a internal thermal throttling. So, for example, here it's 100 degrees, and if I went up to 1.4 something volts, my temperatures for the P course, performance course, would actually hit 100 degrees. So you can see the maximum even now was today in P3 was 92 degrees here. So it's close to getting to the throttling. Yeah, I mean, over time, so that's one thing I was wondering. Over time, when you continuously overclock, that's the question, right? Do you actually decrease your, lifespan of the CPU? Up to now, knock on wood, so we're talking about the 9,900, the 11,900, 12,900, 30,900. All of those never ever had any issues. None of them. So none of them broke, none of them got worse over time. So yeah, for me, absolutely no issues whatsoever. So Bad Turbulence also says never overclocked with relatively high temperatures, never burned up the CPU. Yeah, so the only downside you could have is then getting into the thermal throttling and then, having maybe some lags and stutters, I don't know. But normally, yeah, you wouldn't get there. Rusty says degradation exists, but you won't encounter it with the usual CPU lifetime. You would change your CPU for then, and if it happens, instability, you add a few millivolts and you're fine again. Okay, there we go. Yeah. Right, we got the top descent coming. Let me do one more update with the weather, and then. Into the data. So we have split. All good, no threats. TVAT. All good, no threats. And some fugue tower coolness. Well, I wouldn't call those threats either, but yeah, so we got the first two good alternates, all good. And Dubrovnik right now has 170 at 16 still. Temperature 15. We have 998. Yeah, so as expected, some low pressure area there. The minimums for the approach, so RP approach is LNAV. We're not allowed to do LPV here, so we're doing the LNAV VNAV minimum 1730. Right, progress page. We put in runway for a distance in info. Later on we check 0.3 nautical miles. Procedures. Approach. There we go. So we can fly this with Final Approach app. Actually, when you do it in LNAV VNAV minimum, you are required to fly this in Final Approach mode. So if you're interested, on my website blackbox7up.com you have these infos available, of course only for flight simming, not for real world flying obviously, but Senshai has done a fantastic job implementing those charts and those figures. So in real life, what we need to check is, before starting the RMP approach, is we need one FMS, one GPS, 2 inertial reference units, 1 MCDU, 1 flight director, 1 prime flight display on the pilot flying side, 2 nav displays, and 2 flight control unit channels. So if we actually had a failure if we actually had a failure right now of an FCU, and I'll show you what that would look like. So navigation, actually hang on, that's under autoflight. So let's do FCU 2 fault. So that's the LPV is a approach type that is based also on GPS. However, it's using a special GPS system. In this case, for example, in Europe, it's using the EGNOS system, and you have a correlating channel and identifier with it, and also you have stations around Europe that send corrective signals to your receiver or to the ground stations to correct any error coming from the satellite data, and that way the accuracy of these signals is a lot better, and hence you can also simulate a localizer and glide slope beam, which is not there physically, but it's internally simulated. So as you get closer to the runway, your deviation pointers will get more sensitive. So you have deviation pointers on your prime flight display, which become more sensitive as you get closer to the runway, and that means that you don't have to take into account that many obstacles. If you did a normal LNAV VNAV minimum, that's what's called a linear approach. That means that it's a parallel corridor laterally and vertically, and because of that you have to look at more, well, you have to take more obstacles into account that can interfere with your minimum clearance altitudes. So by using LPV, you're simulating an ILS and glide slope beam, if you like. So that way it's more accurate, and that's why you have minimums which are much lower, assuming you don't run into issues with the climb gradients. But you can see that the minimums are a lot lower on the LPV approaches. Right, so if we look at the failure right now, you don't really hear any chimes or anything, but you can see it says autoflight, flight control unit number 2 fault. So in the back of your mind, with that, it doesn't really cause many issues right now. So you just say ecom actions, barrel ref cross check, just make sure you have the same barrel reference up here as well, and that's it. And in-up systems, flight control, that's it. Right, so however, you have to keep in the back of your mind that it can actually interfere with your approach types. So with this failure right now, we would not be able to fly an RMP approach. Right, that would not be allowed. Alright, and you can see that here, it says RMP. So let's fix that quickly. Oh yeah, I was about to say, the 2K monitor. So I actually tried 4K with the 4090, and the power draw went up by between 70 to 100 watts. So definitely, if you start cranking up your resolution, that definitely, requires the GPU to do a lot more work, and that's when the power draw increases quite drastically as well. Well, I mean, I think it will handle it. I know that Magus here, one of our moderators, he has a 4K, I think it's 48-inch screen, and he's running it fine. Right, let's go down. Level, let's do 150 initially. So we've got thrust idle, send up blue, 150. Constraints on. Weather radar right now looks alright, so that seems to be more out to the west. That should not be an issue. Yeah, so I mean, there are some operators that offer or have the LPV approval, and they have the equipment to fly these approaches. So yeah, it seems to be the future. Right. So descent preparation, very important. Yeah, enter the data. So you need outside air temperature, you need the pressure, QNH pressure. If too steep path message is displayed at the final descent point, do not use final approach guidance. Right, in this case, use nav flight path angle or track flight path angle. So whenever MCDU shows too steep path after the final descent point. So what is the final descent point? The final descent point is where you see that symbol there. So Delta Uniform 400 in our case, that's the final descent point. So allowable difference between the inbound course and that's quite funny actually. So between the final approach point and the runway, you're allowed to have a difference of 1 degree inbound track. So that's 114, and then we got 114 as well. So that will be allowed to differ by 1 degree. But actually, if it's 2 or 3 degrees. If your company has a office that monitors these differences and checks for obstacle clearance, you can actually accept that. So, but normally it's 1 degree difference. Then you've got 0.1 degree difference between the MCDU and the charted final vertical path. So here we've got 3 degrees, and here we have 3 degrees as well. So that's correct. And then 3 degree difference between the oh, actually 3 degrees charted. Okay, so not 1, 3 degrees charted track. It's 1 mile, I was meant to say. Oh, for the conventional effective disregard. So no, it is 1 degree. It's for the conventional approaches, 3 degrees. I'm looking for the 1 mile difference laterally. So you can see that 6 miles from the final descent point to the missed approach point, and that corresponds to 6 miles here. So that's fine as well. Missed approach takes us then via Delta Uniform 399 to Delta Uniform 900, and we're climbing 4,000 feet at least, 185 knots until we inbound to the holding. Yeah, actually until we reach that waypoint. So fast climb to 4,000 feet. Cool. Right, so then descent at 10,000 feet, do the nav accuracy check. So we check that GPS primary high is displayed. Baro ref, make sure that Baro ref is correctly confirmed. So it should be 998 today. And then got an intermediate to final approach. Check ATC clearance allows the aircraft to fly through the capture area of the vertical profile. And the important thing is that you need to be at the final descent altitude or final approach point altitude. Otherwise, you will not, or you might not capture the correct path. And so the final descent may not activate. So what I mean here today, it's the final descent point at Delta Uniform 400. Make sure that you are at for that altitude, not above, not below. Now, once you are inbound to the final ascent point, then, only then, will you press the approach button on the FCU. Alright, so once we're inbound to Delta Uniform 400, then we press the approach button just like in the ILS. Hey, Daddle Papa, how you doing? Thank you for the shout out. What did you do today, Daddle Papa? I hope you had a good stream. Yeah, we are actually in the FSLabs. Can you believe it? P3D. Good lord. And we're flying RP into Dubrovnik. So, approach nav, check armed or engaged. Final, check armed at the descent point. Check vertical deviation scale is displayed on the prime flight display. At the final descent point, a blue arrow on the nav display indicates that the final approach engaged conditions are met. I'll show that later. And then at the final descent point, check engagement of the final approach. Go around altitude set, and then parameter monitor. 100 above the minimums, monitor or announce. Minimums, check that you have the visual reference. If not, it's a go around. If you see enough sort of visual conditions are sufficient, continue announce, autopilot off, and flag directed as required. Cool. And that's the out approach. Let's see, do we have so weather control, right. So that was today. Was it UTC or local time, Brennard? Dienstag. Alright, so there we go. So conditions, LDDU, they were, well, wasn't that bad either, Brennard. Alright, but light rain. Okay, we'll take it. So it was 995. Temperature is 15, and the wind was 150 at 13. Yeah, I don't know where it gets its weather from, Reynolds. So let me try that. Maybe that was one more update then. All right, let me see. Let me try that, and then let's go debug. Let's refresh the weather. Ah, there we go. Okay, so now, yeah, now we have that weather. Okay, cool. So, oops, let me just dial it in. So we have 995, 13 degrees, and the wind is 170 at 15, gusting 26. All right. Ooh, lol. Right. Okay, let's get everybody strapped in. That could be fun. Ooh, let me check whether or not we have crazy turbines. Just be sure that we don't get blown out of the sky. Yeah, because you do want to have those settings from FSLabs. No, that should not be realistic. That would break your aircraft. Can somebody remember what the wind turbulence? I'm not sure if that's supposed to be like that, because again, that's fine, yeah. All right. Right, that should be fun. Okay, so we're on the path, and we want, oh yeah, for the auto brake setting, that's one thing I wanted to do as well. Just do a quick landing calculation. Lima, Delta, Delta uniform. The runway is long enough. I don't think we need anti-eyes near the rain already. No. So 64.1 for landing. That's pretty, just slightly below max landing weight. We're gonna have. Let's put auto brake the RCAM to medium. It's a normal landing. Reverse config full reverse non-wet runway. Let's calculate that. So let's go down to 9,000 feet. Oh no, let's pretend the ILS is off the air. Good, so we have auto brake, we have available 3,149 meters, and with auto brake medium we need 2,400. Low it says 2,500. So I tell you what, since we could have heavy rain, we could have some very slippery runways. Let's put that to medium. I already changed the approach data, Reynolds. Ah, that's from the current conditions. Yeah, visibility 2,000 meters because of the heavy rain. Ooh. Nice. Yeah, I don't think it's nice, but yeah, we'll see how we get closer than that. Yeah, we may need ILS because we require a visibility of 2,000. Well, actually, we need 1,500 visibility. For the RMP approach. Well, I'll tell you what, we'll try it. We'll see how it goes, and then although, I mean, 1,200 feet. I mean, the ceiling is fairly high. So ceiling is round about almost 3,000 feet. It's just 2,000 meter visibility. It should be alright. Famous last words, it should be alright. Yeah, Crimson, that's just the thing. Like I said, you know, you can have very enjoyable moments in the Phoenix. It's just if you do, you know, more serious flying, especially with the weather like this, you just do not have that in Microsoft Flight Sim. That's the problem. So, right, let's say we cleared down to 5,000 feet. QNH is 995. Here comes the turbulence. Right, that picture obviously is very often a little bit overdone as well. I don't really suggest you changing anything from the weather radar, but you can change a little bit, you know, the gain, so the reflectivity values. But I mean, these are probably just, you know, smaller cells that have some rain. The area that I would definitely avoid is this one there, because that's a huge area. And then tilt up a bit. It's interesting that as you dial down that, it should really... That's interesting. Back to auto. Yeah, it does make sense. Yeah, I do understand that. Right, so normally now in real life, if I had that kind of weather, no way, I would not fly into that weather. No. So with these reflections, you would have to expect maybe some hail or some lightning, and you know, yeah. So no, you would not really do that. But knowing that things here in the sim are a little bit exaggerated, also because we are seeing a fairly high ceiling. Just to go ahead and let's descend. Yeah, so that would definitely cause some issues, and I think the one on the right there I would avoid as well. Yeah, but again, guys, normally red areas you would definitely avoid. And this is what I mean. So we actually below already, below the cloud layer. Here's Dubrovnik. But a thing that could definitely harm you is hail that could drop out. You had maybe some downdrafts, so cold air that's dropping out of the cloud. That could be the issue as well. So let's go down 4,000 feet. Connection set. Let's read the approach checklist. Barrow ref QNH 995 set. Seatbelts on. A minimum. Section 1 as well. Oops. Minimum Barrow 1730 feet. Auto brake medium. Engine mode selector normal. Heavy rain quite often could justify setting the engine mode selector to ignition, just to kind of reduce the risk of a flame out of the engine. Okay, so we are at our altitude. And then we'll descend further down to 2,600 according to the profile. So cleared for the approach. And so we're going to do out constraint, descend. And now the approach phase is activated. How do you know that? Well, now we have the VDEF bar showing. And we're restricted to 4,000 here. Here comes flaps 1. Speed is check. Flaps 1. Status. Nothing new. Remove status. Again, the important thing is that we reach that 2,600 feet for the final ascent. That's really important. Otherwise, the engagement conditions may not be met. So I'm going to go now with open descend, actually. Open descend, thrust idle. I want to get down there. Flaps 2, speed is checked. Flaps 2, just adding a bit of speed brakes. And let's put this to speed selected. Freda, yeah, I hope so. I hope that at some point they will add these features because they are so important in, you know, in the real world aviation-wise. Speed brake's going back in. So definitely very important. Alrighty, approaching final approach point. We're inbound. We can actually select approach mode. We check the accuracy again. So we have required. Well, actually, required would be 0.3, unless it says different on the approach plate. I see that. So 0.3, and we actually have better than required, which is fine. Normally on both sides. Check both sides, all fine. Final approach is active already. Speed going managed. Gears coming down. We're also 2,000 feet above the elevation, I think. We're almost. So make sure that you are established early enough. Missed approach, 4,000 feet is set. And for the missed approach sector, let's have a look for the missed approach procedure. How is it looking there? Flaps 3, speeds check, flaps 3. Dubrovnik traffic, Lufthansa 1416 on the RMP 11 in Dubrovnik.
2,500.
Yeah, so it's not bad actually. Flaps full, speed check, flaps full. Now normally with the wind, you could actually think about doing a config 3. Actually, let me change that. Let me go flaps 3 because of the turbulence and the risk of wind shear. Landing distance is no factor. It's still heavy, but we'll take that. Right, cool. So now we've checked the crossing altitudes. Distance to runway, we're at 4.5. So at 4,000, we're supposed to be at 1845. Coming up 4,000. Look at that, right on the money. But we don't have any visuals. We're just 100
above.
Oh my god, no way. You are kidding me. Oh no.
Minimum.
Go around. Flaps. So, Mantoga, open climb, nav. Positive climb, gear up. Now we've got thrust climb, open climb, out blue. Flaps 1, speed check, flaps 1. And roughly traffic, Lufthansa 1416 is in this approach. No, Gabriel, the LDDF is not required for these approaches. Flaps 0, speed is checked, flaps 0. So we're going to increase speed. And again, initially, no issues with this approach. Yeah, the soft go-around is more a feature of the new aircraft, so the Neos, because they're so overpowered. Right, 4,000 feet. Let's go. Heading. Fuel check, 3.7 tons. And let's go 250 knots. Make sure we have enough buffer to the because of the turbulence. And then we'll switch to the ILS approach. I actually didn't think it would be that bad. Right, so let's do that. ILS Yankee, and we'll use no star approach, no via. There you go. Insert. Ooh. Spicy weather right there. Let's hope we can stay clear of that. Alrighty, min diversion for split is 2.3. So we definitely have enough fuel available. No. Tremonia, that's a very good question. And the only way that we would be allowed to do the approach again is if we think that the situation has changed and the likelihood for us to land successfully is higher. So yeah, or you have an emergency or something, and of course, you know, your options are a lot greater. But normally in these conditions, you're right, normally you would not do another approach now. Did that jingle not work? Hang on, what's the go around? Come on, go around. Why did that not? Sound files.
You can always go around if it don't look right coming down. Don't wait until you're sideways, baby, sliding on the ground. You can always go around.
I have no idea why that didn't work. Yeah, the command is !GA. Weird. Yeah, you did. Yeah, absolutely. Right, so let's switch the approach type. So we said we're going to do the ILS approach this time, so that means a lower minimum. And
You can always go around if it don't look right coming down. Don't wait until you're sideways, baby, sliding on the ground. You can always go around.
alright, so it does work. Weird. 7:30 for the minimum. I'm going to activate the approach phase now. Right, let's go 230 knots. 230. And it starts out of 4,000 feet. We'll stay with config 3, and the minimum is 730. So 730 in there. I am going to put Dubrovnik, Delta Bravo Kilo in here. Right, so quick rebriefing. We're doing the ILS approach now, 4,000 at 10.9 from the ILS DME, and then we've got a 3-degree profile. 3 degrees, 4 miles. We can check the altitude 1806, and the minimum 730. Missed approach will take us straight ahead about 1,000 feet, turn right, max 200 knots, intercept radar 182 outbound from Dubrovnik, and we'll climb 4,000 again. All correctly programmed. So we're going to put direct to that radio in. So that's going to be 294. Insert. Huh? Why did that work? Oh, it did work. There we go. So off we go. ILS keys on. And I think we're pretty much set then. Daddle Papa, thank you so much for the raid. Have a great week ahead. Thank you so much for the raid. Take care. Hey Ali, how you doing? Right, ILS India Delta uniform is identified. Checked. Dubrovnik traffic, Lufthansa 1416 is why is that? 1416 is on the base for runway 11 ILS approach in Dubrovnik. Right. so weird. Some button on there causes the flaps to move. Status is checked. Flaps 1, speed check. Flaps 1. Yeah, status check. Remove status. Lock star. Wow, 30 knots wind from blimey. No wonder we get pushed around like that. There's a bit of the terrain there. Right, got a few more miles to a descent point. Yeah, at the moment, I would just say it's a lot of rain. It's not really thunderstorms, it's just a lot of rain in the atmosphere. Right, glide slope is alive. Hey, Lee! When did you check in, Lee? I missed your check-in. Sorry for that. Lee, mach's gut, bleib gesund. Right, I don't know. Hang on, guys. Something's really wrong here. Flaps 2. Why are we... I'm just getting a feeling that the rudder pedals are moving fast. For the mouse? Nah. Look at that wind, 33 knots. Blimey. Right, weather's alright here. Good. Descent point at 10.9. Oh, it doesn't give me a... So 12.3 from Dubrovnik. That looks good. Glide slope start, that's the correct glide slope, and 4,000 missed approach is set. So this time I'm going to wait with the gear, because we are starting out at higher. No, we're still very far out, Reynolds, so... Previously we were at 2,600 for the final descent, now at 4,000, so we still have a bit to go. Lee mach's gut. Oh really? I'm sorry, Lee. I missed your hello. I'm so sorry. Lord. Oh, I hate colds. So joystick, camera. Alright. Now gear down. Speed managed. This actually no. Well, I've had this for a couple of weeks now. Yoda, thank you. That's not that new. Alright, flaps remain 3, that's final setting. Just waiting for the checklist now. Yeah, weather is clearing up a bit, so that's alright. Oh, Tremonia, okay, sorry, yeah. Alrighty.
2,500.
Yeah, it's a bit late. I mean, over water right now, but the airport is actually a little bit elevated. So the threshold has an elevation of 520 feet right now. So you have to take that into account when you look at your stabilization criteria. That's true. It can't be worse than a 747 landing. Man, I need to practice that. Jeez. Yeah, that was not very satisfying. Hey Hiro, shalom, how you doing? Right, only synchronizing thrust levers, manual thrust. Right, let's do some manual flying. Spoilers arm, and then we're good to go. All the lights on. Landing checklist. Ecam Memo. Landing. No blue. Landing checklist completed. Alright, ground contact this time. .20 knots from the right, so we have a bit of crosswind. So the runway should be, or the approach light should be a little bit to the left, visually. Wow, this visibility is actually bad. 2,000 meters, no joke. I can see the Parby lights at least. Crikey. Wow, that is pretty bad weather. Alright.
Terrain.
Disregard.
500. 100 above. Minimum.
Continue.
Two 100. 100. 50. 40. 30. 20. Retard. Retard. 10. 5.
So we have spoilers for that reverser. So manual brakes. Let's vacate here. Here's a bit slippery. Interesting.
Now that's how pros do it.
Well, to be fair, that was a bit too flary again for that condition with the crosswind, wet runway. I would have preferred to actually touch down a bit quicker. So that's the thing, right? People think, you know, you should always grease the landing. Well, no, you should not. We don't have APU, guys, remember? So we can't start the APU. But that can go off. That can go off. Flaps up. Dubrovnik traffic, Lufthansa 1416, vacated 11. How do you get the weather and terrain to work? Well, here in P3D, there is one button for the terrain. That works. And the weather radar is down here. I'm using a external app that's called Active Sky, and that gives you the ability to insert the weather here into P3D. What was the landing? Well, I mean, nothing really. It was rather positive. But it was all right. We just have, you know, just had freight. I mean, you may have some broken, you know, televisions in there now, but it's insured, isn't it? So, oh, you got to be kidding me! Why is there no gate 10? I mean 11. All right, we'll take 12 then. After landing checklist, radar predictive wind shear system is off. After landing checklist completed. But again, so the weather conditions, so the way we had the visibility, we actually had 2,000 meters, and that's what I always enjoyed about P3D. That you can get these correct simulations of the visibility and the, you know, weather conditions, rain and you know, turbulence, weather radar returns. So all of that just, you know, makes it enjoyable. So why is it better not to grease it sometimes? Well, on a wet runway, for example. Are you kidding me? On a wet runway, for example. Come on, that's way too far. You've got to be joking. If you land very softly on a wet runway, the rubber doesn't make contact with the tarmac, and so what can happen is that you get rubber reversion, or like aquaplaning, and I knew we were way too far. Lol. GSX. Seriously. Yeah, GSX hasn't changed much. And so, you know, you can have the problem with aquaplaning. So landing distance is greatly increased. Then you've got, you know, some blistering of the tires because of that superheated water. So let's see, can we get the jetway to work? And that does work. Cool. So we do the beacon off, seatbelts off, fuel pumps off. That goes off as well.
Dubrovnik traffic Meridiana 245 is on a 10 miles final.
Hey.
The boarding requested.
There is someone flying along. But he's at 10 miles final, correctly. Yeah, we've got some time. So let's have a look for the parking checklist. Parking brake or chocks parking brake is set. Engines off. Wing lights off. Fuel pumps off. Parking checklist completed. Fantastic. So I'm switching to live weather again. There we go. Now that's the weather we would have had. Yeah, the sharklets are nice, aren't they? It doesn't matter if it's P3 or Microsoft Flight Sim. What matters is GSX. Lol. How often do you fly to Dubrovnik? I've not been there for I think 2 years now, so not very often. Vortex, you need help. Microsoft Flight Sim, even with an RTX, it crashes sometimes, just like today on Final Approach, just unstable. What sim do you recommend? Okay. No, so it's not the sim. I think there's something else with the driver. How much VRAM does the 3070 have? That is a good GPU, isn't it? Yeah, so what I would do, Vortex, is I would take out all of your add-ons. So you know that you download some add-ons sometimes, you know, free airport add-ons, and etc. So take everything out of your community folder, save it somewhere else, so that I have a completely clean community folder, and then fly again and see if that helps. Oh, so even without add-ons, it seems... Wow. Are you overclocking? Because normally it's either overclocking, so you're reaching some limits somewhere, the system freezing up, or it's a driver issue, but normally no overclocking. That is really strange. So if you do that flight in the Phoenix, would it be harder for you? I don't... Well, I mean, the turbulence maybe is a bit different there. Wow, that's a nice approach. Yeah, so what I had...
stabilizer motion.
Nice. Beauty. Lovely rudder action there. Nice. Good landing. Rusty. Yeah, so Vortex, what I had with the latest NVIDIA driver that came out on the 18th or something, I had issues as well. So today I actually had to crash the desktop too, and I reverted back to the previous driver. And then it seems to work now. That was a nice landing, GG.
Thanks.
Yeah, it's P3D version 5. Yeah, exactly. So I would not put hope into that. P3D can be very, very unstable. All right, guys. I am going to try to be back on Thursday for the next stream. No, that was not Kippen. But I'm pretty sure I know the voice. Hey Hilo, thanks for watching. Right, my dear friends, once again, big thank you to the awesome support today again. Thank you so much. And I'm just going to check to see who's online. Let's just see. Hold on. No, not really, Tremonia. The salty mod should be separate to the Asobo one. Alright guys, I'll be back on Thursday. Quas? Oh yeah, oh yes he is. Oh, you're right, thanks for the tip. Yeah, we'll raid Quas. I was just checking if hang on, raid Quas, and that's double underscore, I think. Yeah. My dear moderators, thanks so much for all the help, guys. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Stay well, stay healthy, and I see you, if you like, on Thursday. And we may be back on the A310 on Thursday. Rusty, thank you so much for the support. Thanks for interacting. Excellent, Tremonia. Looking forward to it. See you again soon, guys. Take care, everyone. Good night.